Hi, my name is Clarissa Laurencia, a student from Bina Nusantara International University, studying Information System of Batch 2019. In this video, I'll talk about database management in a DVD shop. The application that I used was Microsoft SQL Server 2014. Movies are the source of entertainment for many individuals. It is not rare to find people in Jakarta, Indonesia to buy movies in a nearby store. Since new movies keeps on coming up and the old ones get replaced, it will be difficult for the owner to keep up with their records if they still follow a conventional method. Moreover, with the number of customer and transactions rising, it is essential for my client to create a computerized system since manual methods are no longer efficient. Try to imagine having a storeroom like this. It will be hectic to record all of them manually. Furthermore, the chances of errors being present are much higher when it is recorded manually. So these are the requirements needed for the database to be completed. Firstly, the business sells movies, which is why they need a system that can store all the list of movies including their details. It is possible for the customer to purchase more than one movie at the same time. Secondly, each transaction is recorded by summing up all the items the customer has purchased. Lastly, it is important to keep track of the staffs, since it is difficult to memorize all their wages, names, and position. Same goes for customers. There are a total of 8 tables. Firstly, there are 4 tables specialized for the movies. It contains about the details of the movies, the production company of the movie, the director of the movie, and the shelf on where the movie is located inside the warehouse. Inside the movie table, all details of the price and the genre of the movie are listed. The director table shows which director directs which movies. Production company gives a detail of where the movies are produced, and the shelf denotes in which corridor is the designated shelf located. The transaction table is divided into 2 parts. The transaction table shows the ID, the staff that was in charge of the transaction, the date of the transaction, the customer who was involved in the transaction, and the total of the purchase. However, this will pose a problem if the customer purchases more than one movie, which is why there's a table for transaction line. Just like in any other receipt, there are lines that denote the items that we have purchased, so in each line, we can mention which item was purchased and the purchase quantity. It will then be linked to the transaction ID in order to retrieve the total. Lastly, 2 tables are used to record data for staff and customer. So here's the relationship of all 8 tables. Select and where can be used to search for specific data. For example, it can be used to find a record that has a purchase grand total of more than 120,000. It can be integrated with and or operators. For example, finding a movie with the genre action and the production company of Marvel Entertainment. In this case, we can use the OR operators to search for a female staff or staff who has the position of a manager. We can also use select to join together the data to create an overview of the whole data. For example, using join to view the movie ID, director ID, production ID, and the shelf ID. This is like the summary detail of the movie table. It can also be used to get an overview of the transaction. Order by is used to sort the data. On default, it will sort in an ascending order, just like the following example of the director's name, but it can also be sorted in a descending order by adding a DESC at the end of it, just like the example. Aggregate has many functions. Max or min can compute the highest or the lowest value from the selected data. Sum can be used to calculate the total. In this case, we calculate the total amount needed to pay for wage. Average is used to find the average amount, and here we use it to calculate the average value from the total transaction. Lastly, count in here is used to calculate how many type of movies are available. This counts the amount of record. Subquery can be used to find more specific data. For example, finding the movies on the designated shelf named Ninja and movies having a price of more than 60,000. The group by statement is used in conjunction with an aggregate function to group by a result set by one or more column. In this case, we use the aggregate function of sum to find the grand total of each transaction. Firstly, we join the table transaction line and transaction, and then joining it with the movie table in order to find the price of one for each movie. We group by the following results based on transaction ID from the transaction line table. Having by clause is similar to where, but it is used with an aggregate function. So in this case, we use the having by clause to count how many transaction line has the count of movie ID is equal to 1. In this case, we use the union to combine the production company from movies and from the production company table. This enables us to see all the list of production companies which are available in the both of the tables. View is used to create a virtual table. Here's an example of view used to see the transaction history. This enables the client to see which transaction ID happened on what date and the total on which the customer paid. Alter can be used to add or drop a column from a table. In this case, we try to add the column of contact number in the staff table. It can later be inserted into manually. Last but not least, the update table is very important if the client needs to change a record. For example, the Batman vs Superman movie's price got updated. It got changed from 120,000 to 100,000. This is very important for the movie store because the stock and the price will keep on updating as time passes.